We're already halfway through the first month of 2024, and there are a lot of interesting upcoming New Balances, as well as trends that have already been set by New Balance, as well as the wider sneaker community. To get the elephant in the room out of the way, first and foremost, the biggest trend that has started in 2024, or at the very least is being pushed by New Balance, and that is the 1906R model, as well as similar models to it. The 2000s running shoe models were a big hit from last year, and it looks like New Balance is going all out with the 1906R model and probably even the 860 V2. We got a good handful of 1906R GRs, as well as some hot collabs like the Salehe Bembury collab, and as you can see on NewBalance.com as well as other sites, you got the 1906R in the silver and metallic colorway with either crimson or blue accents. Both of these are very simple and clean colorways that are very versatile, and it's nice to have a solid colorway in a popular model that's readily available. Next up is a new take on the 1906R model, and it's actually not the 1906R, it's the 1906 Utility, but for some reason the style code is called 1906N. I'm not really too sure why it's different, but regardless, it's called the 1906 Utility, and this first model I think is okay. I thought I would like this a lot better. I thought it would be a low-key heat type of colorway, but I personally don't care for it, but a lot of people have really liked it, and most of the regular sizes have already sold out on NewBalance.com. Got a lot of pastel colors that are pretty cool, with a mostly like white and tan upper, and for the most part, from what I could see in Eddie Wynn's video as well as other pictures, it looks like there are added layers on the top, and it's overall more rugged than the 1906R. And next up, there are some new GRs from Yue Wu, the designer who brought us the Refined Future 2002R and 1906R, as well as a bunch of 610 colorways. This 1906R colorway is a GR, and it's very fire. This will probably be my first 1906R pickup of the year if it releases soon. Nothing much I can really say about it, other than I just really like the colorway. I really like the striking teal reflected blue, and how it contrasts against the tan and cream white upper, and that little pop of orange in the midsole is also a very fire touch. And of course, I can't not talk about the 1906R without talking about the Lunar New Year pack. The Lunar New Year pack came out with two different colorways, one of which was in this kind of like aged white, cream, and yellow colorway, as well as a pink colorway. And here I am, I'm gonna say it for the billionth time, New Balance always kills it with pink, and this 1906N Lunar New Year colorway is no exception. This is a very fire shade of pink on the new 1906 Utility actually, and yeah, it looks pretty good. It's a solid 2-pack of 1906 Utility colorways for the Lunar New Year, and it released alongside a 610 and a Warped Runner. The 610 is pretty solid. I like the shade of green, and then the Warped Runner, it's mostly all black. Not too sure how this is part of the Lunar New Year colorway, but I really don't care about the Warped Runner. That's just me. I don't really care for the silhouette and colorway. I mean, it's whatever. But regardless, the Lunar New Year pack was pretty solid. And lastly, in terms of the 1906 model line, I'm gonna give a little update on the Salehe Bembury collaboration. I personally didn't go for these colorways. They're very loud, and you guys know I like the loud colorways, but these colorways I just didn't really care for. They're by no means bad in my opinion, but I just didn't care for them, so I didn't even try for them. And even if I did want them, it looks like the site was flooded with bots, and unfortunately today on Salehe Bembury's Instagram story, he just announced that that was the only drop for whatever reason. It's not going to have a wider release on NewBalance.com or any boutiques, so if you really wanted these, that was your only chance, and it looks like right now the only way you can get them is bite the bullet on the resale market, which really sucks. And next up, we have two new GRs of the 991 V1, both in the finale colorways. I'm not too sure what exactly that means. I'm kind of curious if that means if these are the last two 991 V1 colorways for a while before they vault it. For those of you who don't know, New Balance recently made a 991 V2 model that released at the end of last year, and they're most likely going to be going all out on that model with GRs and collaborations for 2024. So I'm wondering if these are going to be the last two 991 V1 colorways for a while, and if they're going to just put the 991 V1 in the vault. In terms of colorways, they're both simple and clean neutral tone colorways. They're both very versatile, and I like them both. Nothing I'm rushing out to buy, but they're both readily available on newbalance.com, and they'll go well with multiple outfits. And next up is a new take on the 550. A lot of people are calling these like the aged or vintage edition of the 550, and it's pretty obvious. Just look at the shoe. You got the midsole that looks aged and a little, I wouldn't say worn, because these are supposed to mimic retro basketball shoes that you just kept in storage, and then like the end logo starts to crack off, and then the midsole just starts to age and discolor. I think it looks okay. I am not a fan of pre-distressed shoes, like shoes that just look like they were already worn or pre-dirtied is what I like to call them. These aren't exactly that, so I personally just don't care for them rather than disliking them, and it looks like they are still sitting in a wide variety of sizes, and I will admit it is an interesting look on the 550, and I'm actually surprised that I'm okay with them rather than disliking them. And next up, we have the last core colorway for the 990 V6, that being the triple black colorway. There's no official release date yet, but it's slated to release soon, and as you can tell from the picture, it's the V6 just in an all black colorway. It's very simple and clean, and for those of you who are allowed to wear a wide variety of shoes as long as they're all black for work, this would be a great option for you. The 990 V6 is one of the most comfortable shoes you can bless your feet with, and it's awesome to see it in this really cool stealthy triple black colorway, and you might even be able to wear them to work. Speaking of black colorways, the 991 V2 is going to get its third core colorway in the core black colorway. It's not a triple black colorway, a complete blackout, but as you can see, it's an almost all black upper with the simple accents of the gray and the white midsole. It has yet to have an official release date. And that's going to be it for the upcoming New Balances of January 2024, as well as a highlight of some of the New Balances that have already released. What were your guys' favorite releases, and what releases are you excited for? I'd definitely like to know down in the comments.